How long do you think it really takes to take a physical product from a rough idea to something you can actually ship? If you're imagining a clean 6-month sprint, it usually doesn't work like that. Most first-time inventors hit the same wall. They expect the timeline to move faster than the real world allows. The reality is, hardware has a built-in pace. You've got design iterations, prototype cycles, tooling, supplier lead times, and quality validation. And none of those steps are optional if you want a product that holds up. Each phase has its own rhythm, its own headaches, and a few surprises you can't see coming. So let's talk about what it really looks like. If your timeline is off at the start, everything downstream gets messy. Budgeting drifts, launch planning slips, and the team either rushes or burns out. So what's a realistic timeline? For most products, it's months to over a year, and it depends on complexity, your category, and how disciplined you are with decisions. Research and early ideation might be a few weeks on a simple product, or it can stretch into a few months if you're solving a harder problem. Design and prototyping can be a few months, or it can run past 6 months, especially with multiple parts, tight tolerances, or electronics in the mix. Sourcing and manufacturing is almost always the slowest lane. That stage alone often takes several months or more, and tooling is the classic time sink. Even when everything goes well, it still takes time to cut steel, sample parts, and dial in the process. And don't forget branding and marketing. You can run it in parallel with development, but it still needs real time to do it properly. What actually speeds things up is smart overlap. Run parallel work streams, lock key decisions early, and put resources where they reduce risk. What doesn't speed things up is cutting corners. Skipping validation or rushing into the next phase almost always boomerangs. You end up redoing work, burning cash, and losing more time than you saved. At Rabbit Product Design, we've watched this happen across thousands of products. With 9 years in business and senior engineers who've been through these cycles over and over, the focus is setting honest expectations from day one, because solid planning up front means fewer surprises, fewer delays, and a launch you can actually hit. So if you're starting your first product journey, here's the takeaway. Plan for reality, not wishful thinking, and you'll already be ahead of most people. And if I were in your shoes, I'd work with a team that's lived these timelines, and I wouldn't skip the steps that keep the launch on track. Click the link below if you want to learn more. And if this was helpful, subscribe and like so you don't miss the next one.